Hello everyone, welcome to another Late for Class with Professor Geek. As you can see, it is rather cold and rainy here, and because it's already a depressing day, I am not going to talk about Captain Marvel, just to bring everybody down that much farther. I am going to talk about Star Wars though, because there is a lot of anticipation I've been seeing online for when is the trailer for Episode 9 going to drop finally. And I say anticipation because I don't necessarily mean excitement. And I'm talking about just the things I've heard people say. Now, of course, from the Disney shills, those who have already decided they are going to love this movie because it's Star Wars and that's just it, of course they're going to, feign excitement at least about this. But the rest of people, I think it's really more curiosity. There are some people who are hoping against hope that Episode 9 will somehow be able to bring this train wreck to a satisfying conclusion or whatever, but there are people like myself who just don't even get it over with. Get it over with so it can be in theaters and out of theaters and you can just stop. I know they're not going to stop. Disney's going to try and continue to milk that cow until it's good and dead, but it's just a shame. It really is a shame. And there are plenty of people like myself who will 100% admit that Star Wars is dead as far as on screen. As far as big screen, new offerings on the big screen go, Star Wars is very much dead. Now, that doesn't mean that maybe some more animated series might come out that might be decent, or certainly not the ones they're offering now. But Rebels was great. I mean, I don't see why we can't have something else like that. The books even, the fiction, they are making sure they set that in their new continuity, which I won't touch. That's ridiculous. But there is something, there's a sanctuary, there's a place to go if you're like me and you love the original Star Wars trilogy. You didn't hate the prequels, not as great as the original trilogy, but, whatever. And if you're looking for more stories in that universe, there is a place to go, and it's the expanded universe. It's all of those great novels and comic books that had been written for so long. And a long time ago I did videos about this, but I just wanted to touch on it again. Now, I know that there are some people, and man, I feel sorry for these people, who have absolutely finished. They've read everything that the expanded universe had to offer before Disney took over and made it Legends or whatever. Man, I feel sorry for those people because there truly is nothing else for them right now. Yeah, that sucks. Me, I didn't even start reading the books or comics or anything until I realized that there was not going to be any more offerings of the true characters in the true universe as I love it from Disney. Disney was not going to provide any more of that. Disney was going a route which completely deconstructed Luke Skywalker, kills off Han, doesn't even have Han and Leia together, just ridiculous. From the very premise of Force Awakens, I'm out. So, where do you go from there? If you're like me at that point and you hear about these books or comics, that's really what this video is for. I know a lot of people are experts on it, and I'm thankful for people suggesting different things to me, but it's really freaking hard. I don't understand why it's so complicated to just find a good, solid list of the chronological story within the expanded universe. I understand that there are overlaps and there are some books that came later that are supposed to be set earlier. All that's fine. I still don't understand why, in theory, we can't just have a very simple chronological list of the story. But nobody seems able to give you that. Even the lists that are out there are just convoluted and really hard to understand. So I just wanted to give some suggestions for people who are like myself. They're mourning the loss of Star Wars in theaters and that universe that we love. They're mourning what Disney is deconstructed and infused it with their politics with and everything. So where do you go? Well, as many people will tell you, the Thrawn trilogy right away. That is, if you want a proper, true and proper episode 7, 8, and 9. That is the real 7, 8, and 9 episodes. It's the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. These books, Heir to an Empire and the others, they're just perfect. They're absolutely what you would expect from a sequel trilogy. And that's the thing. Frank Oz and all of his bullshit comments lately about, it's not our job to meet expectations. For all of your talent, Mr. Oz, you are an absolute dumbass when it comes to mythology. Because that's exactly your job. Exactly your job to meet expectations and to exceed them. Not subvert them, not give them something different, not give them what they think they want. It was just whatever. Anyway, the Thrawn trilogy does that magnificently. And it really was. I don't know the history of Timothy Zahn or any of the other authors and editors, but I will venture to guess, and in fact, I would bet money on each book, if not the author or the editor, truly does love the Star Wars franchise. Now, these weren't, of course, accepted by George Lucas as absolute canon, but again, we've talked about canon on my channel before. The copyright holder doesn't get to decide canon. The people decide canon. The fans, the audience. That's the way it is with mythology. It doesn't matter what Disney wants to say is or isn't canon. It matters what the people say, and what they're going to love, what they're going to hold up, what they're going to continue to consume. So that's canon. And there's, I'm glad that episode 9 is going to come out and be over with, because that's a false episode 9. Episode 7, 8, and 9, like I said, it was just a thing of beauty. It was the Thrawn trilogy. So I think Heir to the Empire is the first one. But yeah, if I'm getting that right, I think so. Anyway, the Thrawn trilogy, just look that up and you'll find all 3 of them by Timothy Zahn. It takes place a good, not ages away from the original trilogy, but, good, I don't know, maybe 10 or so years, maybe not quite that. But anyway, there's a good span of time between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and that should be the case. I think that sets apart the stories of A New Hope to Return of the Jedi. That sets that up as its own little individual story of a trilogy that takes place very close together, and then you do want some time to pass before you go in and give another trilogy. So that's great. It does that well. We have Han and Leia. They're married, as you expect, as they should be. I mean, they set that up in the original trilogy. You can't give me any crap of, they were together, but now they're not anymore. That smacks everybody in the face who followed the story of the original trilogy. Luke is a great Jedi at this point, which makes sense. He would have continued his training. I don't see the problem with that. So it's a great trilogy. That is it. Now, if you're not quite ready to continue in the story, if maybe the idea of a trilogy right now that's a little bit too much for you to bite off, then I would recommend going with Timothy Zahn's Scoundrels, Star Wars Scoundrels. This is a book that he released I think like 2013. This is an excellent novel. It's kind of newer in terms of the expanded universe, but it's still before Disney, swiped it out from under it and called it Legends and everything. And it's about basically Han and Chewie, and it takes place right after A New Hope. Just a single novel. It's not a prequel or not a sequel or trilogy or anything like that. It's just a single novel, but it's a heist story, and it's an excellent heist story. It's when Han and Chewie, they leave the Rebel base at the end of The New Hope, and they go off to try to basically make some money to pay off Jabba the Hutt. That's what Han wants to do in this book. And he finds out this score, this nice job that he could pull, and he pulls together some of his allies and other smugglers or crooks or thieves or whatever, and they try and pull off this heist. And it's an excellent story. There are some familiar faces. We get some of the faces that you'll meet in the Thrawn trilogy also show up over here. You don't have to know them from the Thrawn trilogy, though. You can be introduced to them in either one, and that's fine. But we get some bounty hunters, we get some members of the Empire, and it's just a great book. It's a lot of fun. It's just a quick, simple read, especially if you're looking for something for the summer. That's a great read. I've also, just going through and hitting the Timothy Zahn books, I just read his book called Thrawn, which is Grand Admiral Thrawn's origin as a Chiss, and that's a great book. I read the Thrawn trilogy first, and then read the Thrawn origin, which is how they came out, and I would almost suggest that, but you don't necessarily have to. You could read the Thrawn origin story, and then read the Thrawn trilogy, but the Thrawn trilogy really sets up this guy, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, you would think that there could be no successor in terms of a good villain than Darth Vader, but damn it if they don't pull it off with Thrawn. He's an amazing villain and a great character that Timothy Zahn created there. And of course, he's been introduced in the Rebels series. He's so popular they brought him back into the series and stuff like that. So Thrawn, it's just called Thrawn. That's his origin. And I thought, how am I going to root for this guy? I like heroes. How am I going to read a book that's about the villain? But Timothy Zahn really works it well. I mean, you empathize with him, but it's in a way that it doesn't hurt him being a villain in the Thrawn trilogy. You understand his motives and everything, but you still don't necessarily agree with him. And yet, the way the narrative is put together, you root for him. It's. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how he did it, but it's really well done. Timothy Zahn's an incredibly well incredibly great writer, and he does well at crafting stories and putting these things together. So definitely check that out. Timothy Zahn has some other stories. I think there's another trilogy that I've yet to read. And then obviously I'm just scratching the surface of the expanded universe. There is a great comic book. I forgot what that's called, but Troy recommended that to me, and I did find a used copy of the collected omnibus version of it. So that takes place after the Thrawn trilogy. So you do have some steps to go if you do just want to continue the story from the original trilogy. There are some solid steps there, and I will talk about that. I'll place some links in the description perhaps there. And so yeah, that's great to go. Now the last closing comment I'll make on this video is that it really bugs me. It bugs me to death when people like myself are very upset, very tired of what Disney's doing to the the universe and everything. So they're mourning the loss of Star Wars, right there with you. But you tell them about these books, you tell them about these amazing stories, which gives us Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, gives us all the characters we know and love as we want them, as we want to still know and love them, gives us those characters, and then they just kind of shrug it off. They're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I'll check that out. And they never do. And they never do they don't want to read. And this drives me crazy as a writing and literature professor. What the hell is your problem? Look, I get it. People are busy. I really do. That's fine. There are amazing audiobooks out there of these titles, and they're incredibly well read. The guy who reads the Timothy Zahn books, man, he's got their voices down. He truly does sound like Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford or even Lando. I mean, he nails those voices, and it really is like you're listening, to an audio drama or something. It's wonderful. So there's no excuse. Everybody drives somewhere, or you've got some moments to at least listen while you're cleaning house or something. There's no excuse. I don't want to hear you whine and bitch about Star Wars if you're not even willing to check out these books, because they're amazing. No, it's not enough. Of course we should still have them on screen. Absolutely. Keep up that fight, 100%. But come on, check out these books, damn it. I think they're amazing. Then, there are people who have valid learning disabilities, or, a friend of mine has some nerve damage or something like that, which he's not able to read, very well. Completely understandable. Like I said, there are audiobooks, but let's just be honest, for the most part, it's just people are too damn lazy or have too short of an attention span to sit down and read a book, for crying out loud. Or even an audiobook. I know some of my students, I'll suggest to them, hey, if you have trouble reading large pieces of literature, get the audiobook. That's fine. That's fine. You take some notes on what you hear or whatever, that's valid. But they can't even do that because it's so long. There's nothing to look at. I don't have a picture in front of me. I will get off that soapbox right now because that'll turn into a 20-minute rant. But anyway, I just wanted to provide some hope for people who are like myself, and maybe you haven't really ventured into those expanded universe territory with Star Wars and the books and everything. I know a lot of my audience has, and I thank you guys for all the recommendations you guys have given me when I was first trying to break into it. And I just wanted to do some more videos talking about the great books out there and my progress as I work through them. So yeah, I'm going to pick up that last Timothy Zahn trilogy that I think is out there, if I'm doing my research correctly, and I'm definitely going to read through that comic, which takes place, as the next step from the Thrawn trilogy, and then I'll check back in and talk about how that's going and everything. But yeah, Star Wars is still out there if you're like me and you've left that expanded universe unexplored. And if you have, man, get on it. Get on it. There are so many incredible reads, and you will have so many great adventures and so many great hours still spent with these characters that you know and love as you've known and loved them. And that's the cool thing. So that's all for this video. Stay tuned for more live streams. Son of Comicsgate Live, of course, coming up tonight. More reviews. I'll have a review of Graham Nolan's Monster Island very soon as well. And do check out the campaign for Tales from the Stacks. We crossed our $10,000 stretch goal, which is great. So bookmarks included with every physical copy. More stretch goals to come. And until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.